Hi everyone, and welcome to the Scorpio July 2021 Love Connection reading. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot and meaning-based spiritual coaching services. I am Lauren. Welcome. My apologies for the late posting of this reading. These energies will probably carry over more into August, obviously, before your next Love Connection reading. Now, just to kind of preface this, this is one of 3 readings that I complete each month for each sign that focuses on some aspect of connection. So I have a self-connection reading, which is connecting you with your unique internal authentic self. We then have the spiritual connection reading, which is connecting your unique internal authentic self with your external environment. And then we have our love connection reading, which is this one here, which takes a look at how you are connecting your unique internal authentic self with the unique internal authentic selves of others. And we also dive into, of course, the romantic vein of love as well, if any of those messages come out. So Scorpio, we are going to start. Now, also, in addition to this, I do work with the Triad of Engagement, which is a coaching tool that I've developed that focuses on utilizing the 3 principles of curiosity, courage, and contemplation. So you'll hear me mention these principles throughout the reading as well. So Scorpio, we are going to, card came right out there. We're going to pull a card here to start off your reading that's going to kind of tap into that principle of curiosity, where we're going to be opening ourselves up and becoming receptive to looking at the energy of love and how we're relating to it, as well as how we're relating ourselves to others. So when we think of curiosity, curiosity usually involves asking a question. So we're going to formulate a question around the card that came up and around the themes that it focuses on. And this will be kind of what you can keep in mind as you're thinking about how you connect to others and just how you are working with the energy of love in general. So the card that came out for you is a mother's love. And it says, a mother's love is reaching out to you at this time and holding you close. She knows how much you miss her and wants to remind you that this special bond of love can never be broken. This is a beautiful card, and obviously one that focuses on a different type of love outside of romantic love. So when we think about a mother's love, the themes that come up around this are unconditional love, are that nurturing side to someone in our life who has fulfilled this role. Not all of us have mothers or a mother figure specifically, but we do have people at some point within our lives that will fulfill that role of nurturer, that role of somebody who can look to us to provide unconditional love, or we find a way to provide that for ourselves. So this is kind of a multi-dimensional look at this theme for love. Now, there is something that's coming up for me, for you, Scorpio, where I feel like when I mention specifically the theme of unconditional love or somebody who's nurturing to you, I kind of got this a little bit of a pushback in your energy of perhaps you don't feel like the mother influence in your life, if you did have a mother or somebody who could take this role of mother. Now, when I speak to mother, I'm speaking more to the feminine energy of someone who would be nurturing you. And that could mean this could be a man as well, who really embodies more of the feminine energy qualities of nurturing and unconditional love. But to get back to what I was saying, I felt a little bit of a pushback. This little bit of a pushback of perhaps my mom isn't like that. I've never experienced that. Now, I'm not saying that from me personally, but I'm saying that's what I'm feeling a little bit from you guys. That maybe you have had difficulty having judgments made and passed on you by your mother, instead of experiencing what can be this beautiful relationship between someone who looks at you and nurtures you from that place of unconditional love, of you are perfect in your imperfections. Perhaps you didn't have that experience, whether early on or whether currently. And that can be difficult. So when we're thinking about curiosity, we are focusing on utilizing the principles of openness and receptivity, as well as optimism. And sometimes it's hard to apply that to ourselves and to different aspects, especially to interpersonal relationships. Because what happens is we turn curiosity into something that is non-receptive, something that is not optimistic, meaning pessimistic. We get away from utilizing curiosity in its most pure form, which is for us to be able to tap into the beauty and the awe and the wonder of life, and to not hold any judgments towards that, to just truly be open and curious. And this is where we can actually receive new information, new insight. But what can happen, especially when we're looking at interpersonal relationships and we're looking at them from our perspective, we can become closed. We can become, and trust me, I battle with this too. I'm human just like you are. But there is this quality where we start to close ourselves off to the curiosity between dynamics with us and other people, especially people that have maybe perhaps hurt us, like a mother figure in our lives. And we, instead of being curious about the relationship and maybe looking at the relationship now versus what it had been previously when you were younger, or even just in years past, and now you've become closed. You have started to create what I call the kind of negative, basically blocks. The blocks of, well, this is just who my mom is and she's never going to change. This is just how all moms are, and I'm just going to have to take that. Or instead you actually internalize it in the other way, where you say, I'm just not worthy of a mother's love. I'm just not worthy of this relationship. I will never have this kind of relationship in my life. I will never have somebody who unconditionally loves me. I will never have somebody who is looking to nurture me in that way. Sorry, I'm going to get a drink of water real fast. And what I would like you to ask yourself as a question for love this month is, where do you feel that you can't be yourself, either with a mother figure in your life or just in general because of a negative influence of somebody who had been in this role with you? So where do you feel that you have either had to hide portions of yourself because they were criticized instead of unconditionally supported? Where do you feel like maybe you've had to go against your better nature because perhaps your mother is a highly critical person, highly judgmental, instead of the reverse, which is highly nurturing and loving unconditionally? And where have you felt that you've had to actually take action against your authentic self to make the attempt to gain that kind of love from somebody like this in your life? And look at it from a way of not, and I know this is difficult, but this is where we start to really revolutionize not only our relationship with the energy of love in general, which love is a two-way street where we get to give love and support, and we should equally receive love and support. And utilize love as a supportive energy, not as us shutting ourselves down from love through fear and anxiety and judgment. So when we're trying to open ourselves up and we're trying to look at our interpersonal relationships from an honest, open point, open place to receive new insight, to see something perhaps we have not seen before, or to gain additional insight for ourselves, not even just in the relationship, but gain additional insight for us. Because this is really where the point of awareness has to start. It's within us. That we have to kind of break down all of those preconceived notions. So that when you do ask yourself that question of where have I been working against my authentic self, where and why, then this is where you can start to see what comes up for you. You can start to notice specifically what parts of yourself have you been hiding or pushing aside for fear of judgment from another, or for in the attempt to gain recognition and love from somebody who is perhaps not capable of providing that for you, no matter what you do. And what part of yourself comes up? What part of yourself in this dynamic have you felt that you've had to go afar, kind of astray from your unique internal authentic self? Now, this can look like, as you're asking yourself this question, you realize, wow, I realize I've been trying to create the perfect home life because my mother told me that by this age I should be married and I should have 2 kids and I should have a husband who makes this kind of money and has this kind of job. And I'm nothing unless I have that. And maybe for you, that's what you're realizing now, is as you've struggled to meet those requirements, and perhaps maybe you've been failing at that and it's been bothering you, and you've been putting all this energy towards finding that perfect person and creating that perfect home life for yourself, that you've been neglecting other aspects of yourself that are more authentic to you. Maybe having that home with the 2.5 kids and the husband or wife that seems great on paper is not for you. Maybe you would rather go back to school and get a second degree, or travel the world and live like a nomad. You name it. There are many areas where we can kind of pigeonhole ourselves. I mean, this can look like following a career path to try to gain recognition from somebody that you don't want, that actually does not fulfill you, that does not actually fulfill an authentic expression of who you are. This can look like wanting to hide specific aspects of self, like who you choose to partner with in love, or the job that you choose to have, or how you choose to express yourself in different hobbies or in other ways. So, and as you're starting to recognize that, this is more about shedding light back on yourself to say, oh, that's actually what I need to release. Because you're not living your mother's life, or whoever this person is, you're not living their life. And they're not living your life. They can't live your life for you. Only you can live your life. And when we're talking about the energy of love, the universe will support you as you more authentically become you and engage you with others and with your external environment. So you may not feel supported on this side, and yet there may be a fear around that as well. If I choose to share this part of myself, will I still be accepted? If I choose to turn my back on this person and again be who I am, will everything that this person has told me going to happen, that I'll be a failure and no one's going to like me and all of the stuff, is that going to come true? And the answer is no. The answer is, the more you authentically act as yourself and you provide that unconditional love to yourself that you're so looking to have from another, the more that you step into that, the more the universe and spirit will work with you to support you. And the more additionally you strengthen the other bonds that you have with other people, because you allow them to also express themselves authentically. People really respond to those who are confident in themselves, and not in a way that pushes their agenda and themselves and other people, but in a way that just comes across as, this is who I am. And it helps you also appreciate that in others. Because as you can recognize your own struggle to do that, you start to recognize that in others as well. Okay, Scorpio, I'm going to pull some actual tarot cards now to take a look at perhaps the energy of this person that you are connecting with here. So this could be a mother figure, or just your energy around love and your possible block that is kind of not allowing you to really step into this beautiful flow that should come from love. All right, so we have, very interesting and so perfect for this, 10 of Wands and 10 of Pentacles. And what this tells me right off the bat is there's this element here of the 10 of Pentacles is the ultimate version realized of your legacy, of your hard work, of what would feel like you've created everything that you would possibly want for yourself. Whether this is a home, whether this is a career path you'll be known for, whether this is a family with children and that's your legacy, but this is that in the tangible world. And then we have the opposite, which is the 10 of Wands. And you can see this. One is a, kind of a really neat, realization. You see an older man here talking to a young, it could be his grandchild. He's getting to share his legacy with those that he loves. And then we have an individual here who looks like they're carrying a very heavy load. And I think what I'm seeing here is there's this quality that you're dealing with right now between carrying the burden of another, whether this is through your choice, meaning you are choosing to carry the burden of, when we look at Wands, this is about taking action from a place of passion. And when we act from a place of passion, it shouldn't feel like this. It shouldn't feel like you're carrying this heavy burden on your back. Instead, it should feel like you are playing with your passion, that you are building a legacy, that you are looking forward to share with others, instead of being this individual who's carrying the burden all on their own back. And I'm feeling here that most of you are carrying this burden right now, or have carried it in the past, and have carried it based on the fact that there has been somebody who's judged you, and you felt that you've had to carry this burden because of this person. That you've had to carry this burden in trying to prove something to this mother figure in your life. Or that, and again, this could be simply you tasking yourself with this. This person may not have actually ever formally judged you. They may not have actually ever said, if you live this lifestyle or if you pursue this, I will not love you. A lot of times what can happen is we ourselves put that on ourselves. And that can come from a place of fear where we are afraid to release this part of ourselves. And so we kind of hide behind somebody else. Well, they're the ones who would judge us. They're the ones that are keeping us from taking action. So when we're looking at these cards here, we're moving away from curiosity and moving into courage. Courage is an important principle because it engages us with our seat of personal power. This is where we get to tap into courage to make the decision to take action on behalf of ourselves authentically. And that can be very scary. This can look like you wanting to tell your parents you live an alternative lifestyle. And instead of just saying, this is who I am and this is part of me authentically, living my life, expressing myself, engaging with life as me, you might not do that and not tell anybody, not even live any aspect of this, all because of what you feel someone might say or how they might act, or that you might lose, this person might lose unconditional love for you. And this is where we have to step into that courage to realize it is within your own best interest and again, you only live your life, correct? No one else can live your life for you. Only you can meet your own destiny. Only you can create meaning for your life. And so this is where we have to tap into that courage to get past the kind of what ifs, the negative what ifs, and turn it around with the purest form of curiosity to look at the positive what ifs, because we're tapping into awe and wonder. That what if you do come out and share your alternative lifestyle with this figure in your life? And what if instead of what you fear is going to be this negative reaction, what if instead it's, oh, sweetheart, I've always known. Or, wow, that's shocking. I don't really know anything about that kind of lifestyle, but I hope you're happy. And I hope you know I've always loved you. Now, those are the what ifs we should focus on. Those are the points of curiosity we should open ourselves up to. Because that's the awe and wonder in life. And even if it comes down to the fact that this person does not step into those beautiful forms of what if, and it is a negative version that you receive, well, that's a shame. And it's a shame for them, because when we're looking at the give and take and the even flow of energy, they're cutting themselves off from love. And they're cutting themselves off from an opportunity to be able to receive love and to give it at the same time. And that's a shame for them. But it's not a shame for you, because now you can go and continue to open up that channel of love with others as your authentic self. And release the tie on someone who does not want to. I'm going to pull a couple clarifier cards here just to see what else wants to come out. Let's see, what deck do I want to use? I'm going to pull, actually, I don't want to use this deck. Sorry guys, I'm a little indecisive today. I'm going to use this one here. All right, so let's see, what wants to come out for, let's get more information for the Ten of Wands. Okay, and clarification for the Ten of Pentacles. Okay, let's see, anything else for the Ten of Wands? Any other clarifiers for the Ten of Wands? Oof, that's way too many. Any more for the Ten of Wands? Any additional clarification? Any additional clarification for the Ten of Pentacles? Let's see if anything else wants to come out here for the Ten of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles. Okay, nothing else wants to come out. I'm just gonna look at the bottom of the deck. I don't know, I'm feeling called for that. Prince of Swords, which is actually the Knight of Swords in the traditional tarot. Interesting that comes up, because that's kind of a very quick moving, the energy of kind of quick and blunt communication is what I always feel with that. It denotes it's air sign, but it generally focuses on kind of this blunt sharing of your truth. So the fact that that came up as kind of the underlying theme at the bottom of the deck really states that that's really the energy you're working with in a situation to help clear this block. It's kind of almost like ripping off the Band-Aid or jumping into the, the deep end of the pool. You just have to do it. You have to just make up your mind, tap into courage, and share this aspect of yourself, or to face the truth within yourself. So this can also be you being blunt with yourself and saying, this is my truth and I need to move on it. So for the 10 of Wands, the 10 of Cups came up. And I love this. This is, so that the 10 of Cups is the ultimate emotional fulfillment. It is the realization of everything that basically this denotes in a physical world, but in the emotional world. So in the traditional tarot, this card depicts kind of a scene of a happy family with a rainbow and a house, and everything is just absolutely beautiful. And there's this quality here of to be able to get past this, to feel okay with letting this burden go, with taking action, coming from a place that does not feel like you are. If you think about it, we think about the energy of love. Would you task somebody to carry a heavy burden like this? If you saw somebody walking, if you had a friend show up and they seem to be struggling like this, you'd probably offer to help. Nobody, including the universe, wants you to feel this way as you take action. And so what you're being reminded of is, instead of carrying the burden, what would actually feel good for you? What is the ultimate realization for you? When you think of tying into that emotional level of success and contentment, what comes up? These two do not, this is not going to come up when you think of that. So kind of what you're being asked here to do in order to help kind of really have the courage to put down this burden of whatever you've been carrying, whether it's you've been hiding some aspect of yourself, or whether you've been continuing on a path and taking action towards something that isn't authentic to you based on the reaction of somebody else, based on either doing it because you feel judged or doing it because you're hoping to gain recognition and love from somebody. And what you're being asked by Spirit to really realize, to help you get past this block, to put down this burden, is find what feels good for you. Because I know this doesn't feel good. Carrying that kind of heavy burden, this is the card of anxiety. This is, for me, when I think of somebody here, it's not only a heavy load that they're carrying, but there's also this element of the anxiety that comes with, I can't put this down. I have to keep carrying this weight. And it's very different from this energy of a woman who is surrounded by overflowing cups and kind of a magic land, and she's actually very vulnerable. She's naked. And I really, I've never noticed that in this depiction of this card in this deck, but she's actually very vulnerable, sitting completely naked with these cups around her, and it's almost like she is just completely at peace. She needs nothing to hide herself. She needs nothing aside from what is bringing her contentment. And that's the feeling that we should all have as we're working towards our 10 of Pentacles, our ultimate legacies. We should be working towards where we feel we can just truly be our open, naked, vulnerable selves, and loved and appreciated for that, as we're thinking about the energy of love. Now, with the 10 of Pentacles came justice. And justice is a beautiful energy. It's the energy of true justice, which is the true balance that exists in life. That sometimes the scales can get very tipped on to one side or the other. And this is the lack of balance right here. This is now where this can get a little interesting is that, you know, when you think of carrying a bunch of sticks, heavy sticks, and you think of a bunch of heavy cups filled with water, this could seem equal. This could seem like you're choosing the same thing. In fact, it might be disguised. This might be disguised as this because of what you've been told or what you've taught yourself to believe should be this. And this is now where you're realizing, no, there's a difference. That the scales may seem balanced, but in reality, there's a big difference between emotional fulfillment and carrying a burden. And this is a lot heavier. Ultimately, this will lead to a breakdown. Ultimately, this will lead to you not being completely disconnected from emotional fulfillment and from your ability to build this legacy. And so what you're being asked to see is, I feel, the lack of balance between those two. And that what you're being asked to look at now is rebalancing within yourself. Rebalancing this with this to bring yourself into alignment. Now this can denote a contract being signed. So there could be an element here of perhaps there is something coming down the pipeline with regards. Now this, I mean, it could, since this is a love reading and we are also taking a look at romantic energies, this could be that you are looking to possibly get serious with somebody, or that somebody is coming into your life and that you might form a committed relationship with them. And if that is what is kind of denoted here, this is that element of that person could be the one that helps build that legacy, but you have to know what that legacy is first. And it's going to be very difficult for you to attract, if you are currently single, that person to you if you don't already know what's going to be, if you're not already acting from a place of authenticity. If you don't already know what would be your ultimate emotional fulfillment. If you don't already know how to be vulnerable in expressing the best parts of yourself. It's very difficult. This person, if you notice, their eyes are down and they're kind of just looking. It's like they're grinning and bearing each step that they take. This is not a person who is going to be able to notice a potential partner or significant other around them because they are so focused on just carrying this load. So for some of you who are single, I do get the feeling that there could be somebody coming in who will help build this legacy with you, who will help share this. But in order to do that, you have to realize what is yours and what is another's. And to be confident in yourself first before moving forward in getting into a committed partnership with another. All right, so I'm going to pull a final card of advice. This is going to focus also on utilizing the principle of contemplation. So contemplation is a fantastic principle because it really connects the principles of curiosity, what we were curious about, what we were asking questions about. And it connects that with courage, where we decided to take action in regards to what we found as we were being curious. And then we get to contemplate on that. We get to reflect. We get to then integrate the consequences of the actions we took. We get to continue our level of self-education through direct experience with life. We don't need to go back to school to learn about ourselves, to learn how to better navigate and engage and live into our lives as ourselves. So we have 2 cards that came out for you. Oh, these are so beautiful, Scorpio. We have Yin, which is the number 2, and we have soulmates, which is the number 41, breaking down to the number 5. And the yin energy, so yin energy in general is, when we think of yin and yang, which is actually, we think about it, the balance. It actually denotes the same type of cosmic balance that's coming up in this Justice card. Yin is receptive energy. Yin is mother energy. It's feminine energy. Where yang is outward pushing masculine energy. And what this is telling me here is that it's time to repair your relationship with yin energy, which is the receptive, the feminine, the allowing another to, this would be allowing another to care for you, or providing that type of nurturing, unconditional love to another. But this is not about pushing. This is about providing, if that makes sense. And same for you. This would be, if you're being receptive, this is about somebody else not pushing you to do something, pushing you to take action. This is about them just providing support for who you are. So there's really something to be said around when we think about contemplation, that as you're being curious and opening yourself up to where you've perhaps held yourself back or held certain elements of yourself back due to another feminine type energy in your life, where to perhaps have you not yourself not provided or stepped into the best version of that energy because of this relationship, and hiding yourself, where have you perhaps not been able to give unconditional love towards another, or where have you not been able to receive that from another because of the fact that you are hiding a part of yourself and you don't feel comfortable with it, so you won't allow another to get close to you to be able to support and love that aspect of yourself. And then we have the soulmates card, which is such a, I love these. I love penguins, but I just love this image. And there is this quality coming through. So kind of what came through right at the very end with this Justice card is there is, I feel, somebody who is either already in your life or somebody who is coming into your life very shortly, who wants to provide this energy, wants to be this energy with you. And it isn't about that person coming in and them doing the heavy work for you and making you feel okay with yourself and carrying your burden of healing your relationship with this energy. It's about you healing your own relationship with this energy so that you can be open and receptive to this person's love, and so that you can also reciprocate it in the same way. I feel like all of your readings, Scorpio, over the past couple months have just been so beautiful. Just really saying step into your power, but that there's a lot coming your way. That the changes that are coming are all very supportive. It's not these big tower moments, and it's not, some signs, and my sign included, I'm a Taurus. There's a lot of towery moments happening with my sign specifically. But with your sign, Scorpio, there's this element of just finding what works for you finally. But it does take work on your part. So I talk a lot about destiny versus free will. And there is destiny in our external environment, which includes people as well, not just situations and environments and circumstances. Now, our external environment is always it's not within our control. And that's really where the seat of destiny comes into play, where things kind of happen, where situations pop up, where people come into our lives out of the blue. And that's where we get a chance from a place of personal power, which is coming back to courage, and the area that we can control, which is where we decide to take action, we can decide to take action and take advantage of the opportunities that come in through destiny, through our external environment. And we get the chance to take a relationship one step further. We get the chance to say yes to working and healing this energy so that we can be open to what the universe is trying to bring into us through the energy of love. And I really feel like you guys are working with destiny right now, as long as you can step up and utilize your free will to meet the opportunities and the chances that are coming through. Focus on the quality that comes with courage is faith. So if curiosity is tapping into the awe and wonder again of life, courage is tapping into faith. Faith that you will be supported as you continue to become more self-aware and as you become more aware of your authenticity and engage that with your external environment. And then with contemplation, we focus on connection. We get to connect the dots, we get to connect with others, and we get to learn and grow and evolve through that awareness. All right, Scorpio, I hope you've enjoyed this reading. I really hope that either you are opening yourself up to this with a current significant other, or that you are finding a way to have the courage to face this energy and possibly face this energy from someone in your life, to repair and open up that channel of love so that you can allow this person waiting in the wings to come in, to start building your legacy, to start building your future. All right. I hope you also get a chance to check out your other readings for the month. And if you'd like to book a personal tarot reading with me or a one-on-one coaching session, the link to my website is in the description box below. If you have a specific reading in mind that you don't see on my list of services, you can simply write what you'd like your reading about in the notes portion of the booking portal, and I will tailor your reading to that. All right, everyone, have a wonderful rest of your day, and I look forward to reading for you in August. Bye, Scorpio.